Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am just a little crazy, but I'm good. I feel like I'm crazy every time we open this and I'm like, yeah, this is going on and life is nuts.
I know you're always like, I'm so busy. And I'm like, I'm not that busy.
I
I
would
mean, we're
I would
busy,
trade.
obviously.
I will trade with you.
I know, I can't be in that state of mind for as long as you've been in that state of mind because I start to deteriorate.
Yes, I'm starting to like not I want to say malfunction, but like not operate at my best because I just can't like it's so hard to keep up at this point.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to bring up is I went to Panera the other day on my lunch break. I was super excited for Panera and I order, my mac and cheese was really good, but they gave me the wrong sandwich. And so I was just
Boo.
like really like annoyed because there wasn't a lot of people in I would get if it was like super busy, there wasn't a lot of people there and whatever. So I messaged them and customer service is working with me. But when it's like that and you get like a completely like I got a cold sandwich when I ordered a hot sandwich and like that just like that was my lunch. Like it ruined my
Did
whole
you
lunch.
did you order it for delivery?
No, I went through the
Oh,
drive-through.
you went through drive-through and it was still wrong? Because I'm like,
Yes.
I swear about 20, maybe even higher, 30% of the time when I order some type of DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever, it's wrong in some way.
Really?
I swear, we get wrong orders all the time. But like going through the drive-through, man, that's bad. I'd be disappointed too.
Yeah. Usually my DoorDash is pretty accurate. I would say, McDonald's isn't always the best, but they're usually pretty on top of it with my orders. Like I think McDonald's is the place where I receive least amount of mess ups,
Mm,
which is weird because I go there pretty pretty often. You would think I would see that more often. But yeah, no, I was
yeah.
just that was my 1 hour lunch break and they gave me a cold sandwich instead of my hot sandwich that I wanted. So,
I've had Panera a few times recently because there's a Panera right by Eleanor's swim class. So
mm,
then after we get out, by the time like we've done everything in the morning, I'm like starving and I'm like, I want something to eat to take home. So we've been stopping there, which I
yeah.
like Panera. Rob's not a huge fan of Panera.
I like that they have the drive-through because it's not like just fast food. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's still drive-through and quick food made, but it's just something different than fast food.
Yeah.
And then one other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, so I thought everything was going to be amazing and perfect and we finished the antibiotic for this earache or ear infection that we had. He's been sleeping so well the past few nights. Like he only went to daycare a couple days this week. And after the last day of daycare that he went this week, he came home. Axel, my son, he is who I'm talking about, and he has this like diaper rash. And I'm like, but how do you get a diaper rash in one day? Because you didn't have the diaper rash yesterday. So I'm starting to think maybe it's like the cream or the diaper that they use there, but they use the cream that I gave them. So
They use different diapers at the daycare.
yeah, they give you diapers. So
Oh.
they cover all the diapers while he's there. And they change him every 2 hours. So it's not like they're not changing him either.
What diapers does he wear there?
It's just some generic brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where I have like the quartery diapers that he wears at home, which are the all,
Top
cotton.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything. So anyway, so he came home with this like diaper rash. He took a bath. He didn't seem bothered by it when I put butt cream on before bed. He woke up at 10:30 last night, like screaming bloody murder because this diaper like he I thought, okay, like normally when he goes to the bathroom, he won't go to bed. So like he went number two, and so I cleaned it up. As I was wiping him, I realized it was the diaper rash that was bothering him because it was like the poop was like stuck to it, and then me wiping it, he was just screaming and lifting his butt up
Hmm.
everywhere, and I was like, we have been very fortunate to not have any diaper rashes, and so this was. I was like, I don't know what to do. I got like an ice pack. I got like a warm rag. I'm like putting butt cream on it, and he just still like, you hold him, you're holding his butt, so he's still like freaking out. So I put him on the ground. Austin comes out with one eye open, and he's like, "Why is our baby on the ground?" And I was like, I don't know what to do. So I call
His
my
butt
mom,
hurts.
who's like, has one eye open because she worked the last like 2 nights in a row. And she's like, I don't know, I'm sleeping. What? Okay. Put Neosporin on it. I'm like, okay. So I put Neosporin on it and he calmed down. And I was like, do you want me to give him Motrin so like it helps the pain, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Austin's like, no, just get out. I'm doing my thing. I'm like, okay. So we got him to fall asleep and put him back
Oh my gosh.
down.
Yeah. I wonder too if the diaper rash could be from teething because they can get diaper rashes because there's so much more drool. Have you noticed more drool?
I mean, yeah, no, but he's just not a very drooly boy.
Yeah.
Like he'll have a little bit of extra drool here and there, but he just doesn't drool a lot. Like some babies just
Yeah.
drool constantly.
Yeah. Eleanor's not a big drooler either. But I could tell she's teething because she's definitely more wet than normal and drooling a little bit more than normal because she usually isn't a drooler. But yeah, the diaper rashes suck. I mean, that's what we go through. I mean, honestly, since we've started this like regiment of like we use hydrocortisone, we use like an antifungal sometimes, and then the diaper rash cream when we start to see it coming, like we don't have like full on issues like we used to. But yeah, that's like Eleanor's butt all the time. She's
Oh
just
my
like
word, I
a
cannot
rash
imagine.
baby.
I mean,
Mhm.
he just has not. This is the first rash we've had. Like it's gotten a little red here and there, but not
Mhm.
nearly like the whole butt was red.
Did it get bumpy? Like
No,
red and
not yet.
bumpy?
No, knock on
Because
wood.
she
I don't
hers
know.
gets so bad it gets like bumpy.
Oh my word, the
Yeah,
poor
so hopefully it doesn't
baby.
get there, and you don't have to deal with that. But man, yeah, can you ask the like if he has a sensitivity to those diapers? Can you ask the daycare to use yours or a different kind?
Yeah, but I did like watch this other lady, like she was in the lobby when I was walking in with my baby the other day, and she was like talking about how her son has specific like pull ups that they're supposed to use, and he comes home with different pull ups on every day, and like she still supplies them, so she doesn't know like if they're using them on other kids. And I'm
Oh,
like,
jeez.
well, yeah, I don't really know how well that would go.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, well, poor Axel and his little diaper rash.
So yeah, I guess never experienced a real diaper rash and was kind of freaking out.
You guys have been having some like late night, overnight issues, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, and it's the worst when it interrupts his sleep because he gets so mad. Like I don't
He likes
know,
to sleep.
yeah, if you've had like where Eleanor just gets mad because like they want to be sleeping but they can't, like something's bothering them. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have necessarily that issue with sleeping. Like, she hasn't woken up in the middle of the night probably since like 9 months.
Hmm.
Like, we haven't had any issues. Probably, we haven't had any sicknesses. She sleeps really well throughout the night. The thing we're going through right now is I'm pretty positive she's teething pretty badly. Like I said earlier, she's just been having way more saliva. She's also been way more like irritable and sensitive. Like
Mm.
today, she was asking for milk. And so Rob gave her milk in a sippy cup because we don't give them to her in bottles unless it's nighttime. And so we gave it to her in the sippy cup and she throws it and is like having a full on tantrum, is very upset. And she keeps saying, bottle, bottle, bottle. And we're like, right, we can't give it to you in a bottle, baby. Like, I know you want it. But I think it's a comfort thing. She likes to drink her milk in the bottle. It's a comfort thing, and I just think her
Mhm.
mouth is hurting, so we had to give her some Motrin. But yeah, she's been struggling this week, like just very sensitive, and just little things will make her go off, which is
Mhm.
very unlike her. So I could just tell she's like kind of in pain. I'm thinking it's her teeth. You never 100% know. She's also like she did this yesterday at dinner where she was putting both of her fingers like in her ears.
Mm.
And so then I'm wondering like does she doesn't have a fever or anything. She doesn't act like anything else is going on with her ears and that definitely is a teething thing.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's teeth, but oh man, that baby. She's she's so sensitive. Like there's like we'll be talking and I don't even know. Like she'll say something like we were playing with her little Tony box and she had Elsa and she put like Elsa on the Tony box. I was like, oh, we're going to listen to Elsa. And then she grabs it. She's like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I kind of laughed because it was just funny. I'm like, oh, so we're not going to listen to Elsa. And she got the lip and she started like pouting and like
Oh,
about to get. So she's just been super extra sensitive.
yeah, I can imagine. Oh gosh. Sometimes I'm like glad I have a boy, and then sometimes I'm like, I could do a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, she's so generally like even mannered. She's definitely becoming a little bit more demanding in like what she wants and is testing her limits and figuring out her world
Learning all
around
that.
her, and we're seeing a little bit more of those like toddler breakdowns. But I mean, I don't even know. I know people who have boys who act very similar, so I don't even know if it's a gender thing necessarily. I think you just have a very very chill baby.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely being more particular and very specific, but like he's just so busy, you know? And I get like girls are super, I mean, both toddler, they're like super busy right now, but it's just like he wants to run, he wants to walk, you have to hold on. Like, I'm just like, I can't keep
Yeah.
up. Like,
Yeah.
can you just sit over here and play with your toy or something?
Yeah. Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Mom Era podcast. My name is Megan.
And I'm Alyssa.
This week, we are kind of bouncing off the episode we did last week on the power of play, and we wanted to provide some summer activities for 1 to 2 year olds since that's where our babies are currently.
So, as the summer sun shines brighter, which we're all super excited about, we're looking for ways to keep our little ones active, engaged, but still like also learning while we're playing with them. So, last episode we dove into incredible power of play and its profound impact on our little one's development. Today, we are excited to share some summer activity ideas for 1 to 2 year olds. Many of these suggestions can be aged up for older children as well. From outdoor adventures to creative indoor play, we got a variety of ideas that will not only keep your toddlers entertained, but also help them learn and grow as they play this summer. So, Megan, why don't you dive into some of our trips that we could do?
Yeah, so I'm really excited for these because I was like trying to think of things I could do for Eleanor. I know if I'm not creative, we'll do like the same things every day. So this is going to be really helpful for me. But one of the things we thought of are just like easy trips. Now, of course, this is dependent on your location and what's near you as to whether or not it's going to be easy. But some things we thought of was going to the zoo or farm or petting zoo and encourage your toddler to mimic the sounds and movements of animals they see. Or maybe you could bring a picture book about the zoo or farm animals and read it to your child while you're observing the real animals. I know in our area, these like the zoo specifically, I even think the petting zoo by me has interactive exhibits. So taking advantage of those or their play areas. So being able to touch animal related items, kind of make those connections that we're talking about as you're walking through the zoo and the farm. And then attending animal feeding sessions or shows. I think the giraffe is the big one at our zoo.
You can feed the giraffe at our zoo.
Yes, you've never been to
Well,
that area where you can feed the
we
giraffe.
went and it was like the end of the season last year. It was like October. So the giraffe was the only thing out, but there was no interactive options.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they do it specific times, so you have to like be there during those times. But yeah, it's really cool if you end up doing it.
Yeah, I really want to do the petting zoo. I know there's like some local orchards or cider mills around me that have them. I've seen a few of them just driving around.
Mhm.
So I am excited to do that because we did that when Axel was like 6 months old last year and
Mhm.
he would touch them, but that was about it. It'd be a lot
Yeah.
more fun now.
Yeah, we have a membership to the zoo. We're actually going next week with my family. And
Hmm.
then we have a petting zoo really close to us that we actually took Eleanor to, man, a few months ago. It was still relatively cold when we had gone. But she really enjoyed it because she loves ponies. So we saw the ponies, but the sheep were buying like super loud, and it scared the crap out of her. Like she heard it and she was like, and just like broke down crying. So I guess next time we might have to not go near the sheep.
Oh. Another easy trip idea is nature trails. So you can incorporate a nature scavenger hunt with pictures of items to find, for example, like a leaf, a rock, a flower, a bird. I think this is a really cool idea because it's just kind of getting them used to exploring different textures and talking about how it feels and just everything around them in the world that they might not have been exposed to in the winter months where they're locked in the house.
Hmm.
But yeah, you can use that to encourage their sensory exploration as well. Let your child collect small, safe items like leaves, acorns, or pine cones. So we did do this at my last house. Um, we had a acorn tree, and Axel just loved collecting the acorns and
Yeah,
putting them in a bucket. So that
cute.
was fun. You can save them for art projects or just keepsakes. So that would be a cool idea as well.
Hmm.
Encourage imaginative play by pretending to be explorers or woodland creators, just out in the nature trails or in your backyard too, if you're like me and live in the country. But yeah, those are some cool ideas that you can do to incorporate nature as well as their sensory and exploration skills.
Yeah, Rob actually took Eleanor to a nature trail near us recently because she loves flowers. So we'll go take a walk around our neighborhood almost every day and try to find like new wildflowers. And we have some growing at our house that we also let her kind of explore, and she's obsessed with it. So he took her to one of the trails and she had so much fun. But I think it was maybe 45 minutes to an hour in. He's like, I found a tick on me. He's like, I'm leaving. I'm done.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah, no, we actually I just got it in the mail the other day. We bought like tick spray just because our yard goes so far back and it was super long. And then we have like a wooded area that we want to go explore, but so my brother gave us this really good tick spray and it's like almost essential oils. So we got it in the mail the other day and it smelled really good, honestly.
Good. We'll have to look that up because we like to go on these trails a few times throughout the summer, Rob and I. And we haven't, I mean, that was the first time Rob took Eleanor, but we want to go more. And we're both kind of nervous of ticks. So,
Yeah, let me say it was on Amazon. I can share it with you too, but the actual spray is called it's called Nantucket, Nantucket Spider Extra Strength Tick Repellent Spray. So it's more natural and made of organic essential oils.
nice. I like that. Okay. Another easy trip is to the library. So, your local library has a lot of activities. Now, I think they slow down in the summer and they tend to lean more into like camps, but check out what activities and events your local library has going on. I know mine, for example, has summer story time sessions for children 1 to 2 years old. I feel like in the summer, there's a lot more activities geared towards older children because they end up doing, like I said, camps and things outside. But even if they don't have events geared towards your child's age, like just going to the library, looking at checking out books, they generally have like interactive children's areas that are really nice for them. Something that we're going to do is set a goal of number of books to read over the summer and then use the library to help us hit that. We are, I mean, we have so many books and we've read them so many times, and she just loves books. So that's something we're going to do. And it's probably nice on those super hot days to get
Yes.
into air conditioning.
Yes, and as a family that forgets to read a book all the time, I have so many books and he likes like the interactive
Hmm.
ones. But like when do you read books? Because by the time we're putting him to bed sometimes it's like okay, he needs to get to bed like he's so tired. And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess during the day, but we're always looking for other things outside to be doing. I don't know. When do you read your books?
Honestly, all the time. I would say the biggest time we read is in the morning, like right when she wakes up, because we're generally slower. and we'll
Mm,
read books then. And honestly, anytime we sit down to read a book, we're going through like five at a
okay.
time. And then we do read books while she's having her last bottle of milk at the end of the night. So we'll read books then. And then throughout the day, she'll just say book, book, and she'll like want a book. We have like so many books. We have some downstairs in our living room. We also have some in her bedroom. And so most of the time we're reading them in the living room and we're reading books to her in the same exact spot. So anytime we're like sitting on the couch together in that spot, she's like, book, book, book. So she's like asking for it throughout the day. But I would say morning and night are our biggest
Okay.
times to read. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have an independent toddler on our hands over here,
Yeah.
and um, we can't hold the bottle, or, well, he doesn't have a bottle. He has a sippy cup,
Hmm.
and we can't hold that or hold him. Usually, he wants to be in his bed drinking it by himself.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so that wasn't ever a time now that we could do that, because we did do that when he was taking his bottle before.
Yeah, we don't give her milk in bed.
Oh, so you do it like
Hmm.
before and then, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has like his sippy cup of water in the bed with him.
Hmm.
And then he has like a thing of milk before bed, and then I used to have to sneak in and get it because he would wake up in the middle of the night and start drinking if there was anything left in it.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't. Like now it's usually empty, and in the morning it doesn't matter.
He's so good with the sippy cup. Eleanor is not. Eleanor definitely prefers the bottle. If we didn't give her a bottle, she wouldn't drink any milk. We like give her milk in a sippy cup and she does not drink it.
Just drink
She'll
like
drink
water
water
to
in
it.
a sippy cup. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really a preference thing. I was surprised he switched so easily, honestly, because he really liked his bottles. Another activity is the splash pad. So a lot of local parks have outdoor splash pads, and usually they have like a toddler section as well, and an older child section. So if your child is older than a toddler, but those are really good interactive ways to keep your child cool in the hot summer heat.
Hmm. Some malls even have, I wouldn't even call them splash pads, but some outdoor malls sometimes have those like water fountain areas. Do you
Oh
remember?
yeah, yeah.
And there would always be kids playing. I never thought it was like for kids, but there were always kids there. So that's an idea as well. If you don't have any splash pads by you, maybe at
I
an
don't
outdoor
think
mall.
it was intended for
I
kids. I
don't
think
think
it
so
was just like
either.
a decoration, but yeah, the kids just run through it. So,
Yeah. Okay, the last thing is, your local science museum or museums of any type. We've taken Eleanor to a few and she's really, really enjoyed them. So it's another area where if it's super hot out and you need some air conditioning, you can go in. Sometimes you could check your area, but sometimes, depending on your location, these could be free for you, or they do free days throughout the summer. I've noticed ours have done a few free days. Now, mind you, those days are probably going to be super busy. So if you hate
mhm.
crowds like me, maybe not go those days, but definitely a good option. You can also kind of do something similar that you would do that I talked about at the zoo, where you bring a book and you talk about it. We have these books that my brother's girlfriend got us that I was like super obsessed with, but it's like gravity for babies, physics for babies, and they're really cute.
Oh,
So you could always bring something like that.
that wraps up our easy trips that you could do. Another idea that we have are incorporating sensory tables. So this can be indoor, outdoor.
In terms of sensory tables, we haven't done these yet, but I just bought the Step 2 sand table specifically for outdoor purposes. I can be really weird about messes, and I'm afraid to do sensory tables or sensory bins inside. I'm sure they're not that bad, but Eleanor's very messy. So I decided to get this sand table, and I looked at a lot of different tables. There's so many options available. I chose this one specifically because I intend to do it outside, and it comes with a lid.
Mm.
I know some people buy cheap bins like at the dollar store, so you could do that too if you're trying to find a easy, cheap way. We really liked our water table Step 2, so I'm excited to put the sand table together and get some of these ideas that we're going to talk about going for her. I feel like she's really going to like it.
I'm sure if you have the water table too, because we have that, you could probably utilize that to put stuff into.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Hmm.
Mhm. So, different sensory table ideas that we have that Megan's going to have to try out this summer and let me know. I mean, I'm going to try some too, but you're already like set up to test it out
Yeah.
right away. Rice or pasta bins, so using uncooked rice or pasta, scoops, funnels, small containers, toy cars, and animals. Allow your child to bury them and find small toys, scoop and pour, and then also drive the toy cars throughout the rice and pasta. We are very much a toy car family, so this will be lots of fun for Axel.
Yeah, he'd probably like this one. Another one would be nature exploration. So adding different types of like outside materials, sand, leaves, pine cones, sticks, rocks. You could buy like small plastic insects or animals and put them throughout the materials and let the kids explore the textures. Use small shovels and rakes to, manipulate the sand or whatever it is. You could also, ding ding, use the items that you collected on your nature hike and put them in your sensory bin and let them play around with them.
Mm-hmm.
Recycle.
Yes, yes. And another idea you can do with the plastic insects or animals that you purchase, we made like spaghetti. Well, the daycare made spaghetti. He did this. And it was like they food colored it green.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was trying to find the animals in the green
Yes.
spaghetti. So,
I've seen the spaghetti too. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good idea.
Which spaghetti has like a texture, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of slimy.
Yeah. Another idea is bubble foam. So, using a hand mixer or whisk and mix a bubble bath or dish soap with water. Let children explore the foam with their hands, toys, or small kitchen utensils. You could also do this like in the bathtub with a bubble bath, like if
Mm-hmm.
you're, taking just like a bubble bath for sensory reasons. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I'm excited to try this one because Eleanor loves bubbles, like obsessed with bubbles.
Do you guys put bubbles like in the bath or is it just like, oh, you do?
We
Okay.
do. We have it's like a crab.
Oh, yeah, the
And
crab that spits out the
mhm,
bubbles.
yes,
Yeah,
so we
I've
have
seen
that, which lately, honestly, she just tears it off. Like tears off part of the crab that holds the water and the bubbles that like makes it. She like tears it off really quickly, so we haven't been using it because she won't leave it on the wall without tearing it off. But normally we do. Another example is using pom poms and tongs. So, this is definitely good for fine motor skills and building that strength. So, adding various sizes and colors of pom poms, which I'm pretty sure you can get at the dollar store, and then provide them with some sort of tongs or small containers. So, it could be like a muffin tin, and encouraging them to use the tongs to pick up the poms and transfer them into the muffin tin or container, whatever it is.
Another last idea is a gelatin bin. So use prepared gelatin, let your children dig in to find hidden toys, explore the texture and the squishiness. This one would probably be an easy, quick one where you could prepare the night before and just pull it out instead of having to like prep everything the day of.
And there are so many ideas out there. If you just Google like sensory table ideas, if you look on Pinterest, I mean, there are like influencers out there who like this is all they do is create sensory bins. So you really don't have to get that all creative with it. You can just Google and figure it out. I'm thinking I'm going to be really into like any of the edible ones. I also saw some ones where you could make like edible type of sand
Mm,
and then they could kind of build with it, and so if they do put it in their mouth you don't have to worry because it's edible.
yeah.
But yeah, lots of good information out there about different types of sensory bins you can make.
I think it will be fun because this just gave me lots of good ideas too. I would say that it's hard to, like, when you're in the moment of creating something that's like sensory or playing for them, it's harder to just like kind of come up with something creative in the moment than it is to like plan it out. So you could even like plan this out over the summer. Like this weekend we're doing this. Here's my planner in me. Um
I know.
Another idea is scavenger hunts. So in any type of scenario, so outdoor, indoor, on your nature walk, in your sensory bin, you can incorporate a color scavenger hunt or a nature scavenger hunt. I think those two could be incorporated in multiple spaces. Shape scavenger hunt you could create throughout their toys or with the toys that they have while you're playing inside or outside, or sometimes with nature, but depends on how many things you're looking at.
Yeah.
Having a favorite toy scavenger hunt, so hide your child's favorite toys around the house or backyard. That's a good one because what we have is these these Play-Doh eggs from Easter, so they're like eggs with Play-Doh on the inside,
Yeah. Hmm.
and they're all different colors. And so we like to play with them, hide them, look for them, and then talk about the colors. And now he also likes to throw them, so he's learning like how to throw. And then lastly, an animal scavenger hunt. So hide stuffed animals or pictures of animals around a room or your backyard. And you can even incorporate like where the animal would typically live outside or what they would be eating.
Yeah, Eleanor's very much into hiding right now, so I think this could be good for her. Does Axel do that? Like she has specific spots, one downstairs and one in her bedroom, where she's like hiding behind the couch or her dresser. And then you go around the room and then she'll hide and she'll be like, Eleanor. So then we'll be like, where's Eleanor? And we'll have to like look around to find her. So I feel like on the flip side, she might be interested in finding other things. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to do these.
Yeah, Axel's not doing that yet. He will like run from you,
Yeah.
um like scurry away, but yeah, not yet.
Some other ideas are creative painting. So I was trying to look up and find ways that you can incorporate painting in a way that's one, safe because they're likely going to put that in their mouth, um, or two, or something you could do outside, right? So
Mhm.
it's flexible. One I was thinking about is ice cube painting. So freezing ice cubes with food coloring or some type of washable liquid watercolors and have popsicle sticks, and then encourage your child to glide the ice cubes across the paper. And then it's kind of like watercoloring, so they're seeing the colors melt, and you can talk about green and red make, is that even a combination? Blue and red make purple.
Purple, yeah.
And talk about and create different designs. So I'm kind of excited for that one. And then there's also fruit smash painting. So choosing different fruits that have soft flesh, so like strawberries, blueberries, that can be easily smashed, and invite your child to smash the fruits. You could do it with plastic bags if you don't want them to get all messy in their hands, though the sensory might be nice for them. And then once smashed, you allow your child to use their hands or paintbrushes to apply the fruit pulp directly onto the paper. So
Mhm.
both of them can be eaten, which was my main concern.
Yeah, what would be really good is raspberries and blackberries because we
Hmm.
eat those and then we paint our clothes kind of almost.
Yes.
Lastly, we have some small other ideas that you can just do at home or around your backyard. So you can do a pool ball pit. So you can have basically a ball pit for them to sensory feel the balls. You can add water, you can add bubbles, you can add whatever you want into that. And then you could always incorporate like one of those little, I don't know what they're called. I want to call them like a splash pad, but they're not. It's like a little sprinkler,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
it's just like a little pad they sit on and kind of like the water's around them. So it's not like directly spraying on them, but they can interact and touch the water. So that's just another idea for them to feel the sensory of the water.
Those are cute. I forgot
Yeah.
about those. I
I
feel like
really want to
Eleanor
get
would like
one.
that.
My
Yeah.
nephew has one.
I'll have to look into that. Hopefully, they're not super expensive because everything I want nowadays for her is very expensive.
And then she only uses it for a couple. I mean, you can incorporate it over time, but like they really
Hmm.
only use it for a short period of time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the cottage. I'm like, how long realistically would she use something like the cottage for me to put that amount of money into it? Now, I found one on Facebook Marketplace and I messaged them and it was available and it was, cheap, like money that I would put into it. But I don't know how we would get it to our house. We have such a small car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't have fit in Austin's truck. My mom had to put it in her truck.
And then they said they could take it apart, but even then, I don't know if everything would fit in our car in that way. But then I would have to put it all back together. Ugh, I hate building that
Yeah,
stuff.
honestly, he didn't really go in it right away, and then when he was here with his grandparents the other day, he was like opening and shutting the door and like playing with it, so I feel like he's starting to like it a little bit more, but again, like probably after 4 or 5, he's going to be done with it.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a second kid, you can get more use out of it. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Mine was free, so
I know. I know. I want to find one on the side of the road. Okay, so I think that's everything we have. I mean, it's a decent list of ideas and activities, and like we said earlier, there's so much information out there. If you just Google like outdoor activities or indoor activities or summer activities for 1 to 2 year olds or whatever age group your child is in, there's really so much out there that you don't have to like sit and be creative yourself. Now, this was nice for me to kind of like just generate some ideas and get myself thinking and kind of preparing, because sometimes you do have to buy, for the sensory bins, you have to buy the products that go into it. Or if you're doing a scavenger hunt, you probably have to somewhat put that together. So now I just have like ideas on the docket that I can look at and kind of get going for the summer. So I'm excited to do some of these.
And I did think of one other thing
Ooh.
that I wanted to add, and I had all intention of trying this and doing this with my child. However, he got sick the entire month of April, so we didn't get to do it. But Lowe's and Home Depot, if you have them near
Oh
you,
yeah.
they have like those little builder activities that are free for, they're usually like one Saturday a month. And it can be any age. The parent can go with them. The parent can do it all, and they get like the little, I don't know if it's like a worker, what is it, apron,
Yeah.
and they get like, everything every time they go. So I had actually signed up for both, one for Lowe's and Home Depot in the month of April, and every time that we had tried to go, he just was not
Was
feeling good.
sick.
So I'm gonna try and sign up in the month of June and July, because it's just something different to like, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
usually a short activity. You don't have to be there a specific time, and you can just do it with them. It's not like they
Yeah.
have to do it on their own. So
I really like that. And like on that same note, there's so many different like summer class options out there. I just found one that's music based, and Eleanor loves music and it's
mm,
for her age period. So I'm thinking maybe we could do that after swim
yeah.
and maybe incorporate like the music class and see how she does. But I really like the idea of Lowe's, especially in Home Depot, especially because they're free.
Yeah, yeah. And you didn't you say your swim was free?
No, it wasn't super expensive. I'm not sure how much it is at like a blue fish swim school or whatever those are called. Those like chain swim schools, since ours was through our county, but it wasn't very expensive. I think we paid like $50.
Oh, okay. For some reason I was thinking it was free, but that's also something you could do.
Mhm. Yep. What mom era are you in? Jeez.
Um so I'm in my mom era of just really still trying to understand this whole daycare thing, and like I get that I'm like a first time mom, and I'm probably way over the top about it than second and third time moms are, but I feel like this is helpful for other first time moms. So I'm definitely like exploring different daycares and looking at like in-home daycares. I thought about the idea of looking on like care.com and having someone come to our house, which is like a great idea, but if that person is sick or has something going on, I don't have a
Yeah.
backup, right? So I'm on the wait list for one specific daycare that's like closest to me. I went and explored another daycare today. A lot of them are very similar in terms of like cost, what they provide, what they, have. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to touch on specifically, because I did not know, but like when your baby isn't necessarily walking, they're still considered like in the infant room. So then when they're like fully mobile and like walking and running around, then they kind of go into the toddler room, where like Axel mentally is like a little bit more into, he's just more engaged when he's doing a lot of things like structured, and that's more in the toddler room. And then he likes to have his like one long nap a day, which is what they have in the toddler room. So it's harder for me to like incorporate like how he
Yeah.
fits in the infant room. So right now he's still exploring the toddler room in his current daycare. There's nothing against this daycare. Like I still like it. I just want to see if there's a better fit out there and maybe a little bit more personal like touch on it. But yeah, so I didn't know that they stay in the infant room until they really like can walk and function and run around.
Is it like that everywhere that you're kind of looking into? Is that
Yeah.
like a common? Okay.
Yeah. Everyone that I'm seeing, like there's a lot of infant rooms that like will mix like the younger babies, the ones that like can't move, and the ones that are like, sitting up or crawling and like potentially walking like all together. And then there's some where I've seen like Like the baby babies are a little bit more separated from the crawling and like standing and like walking a little bit babies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Man, that kind of sucks though, because like to base what room they're in, because developmentally, like in terms of learning, he's probably closer to the toddler, but because he's not walking, he's put in these lower level rooms. So I feel like he's missing out. I mean, I'm sure they're doing engaging stuff
mhm.
also, but he's missing out on the stage he's currently in, probably developmentally in terms of
Yeah.
like learning and
And the
stuff.
one that I went and looked at had a lot more children that were walking or standing up and hanging on to things and walking in the infant room, separated from like the baby babies, where the one that he goes to now is like the baby babies, the sitting up, the crawling, and like the stand up and hang on to something walking babies,
Yeah.
which he's like always standing up, always hanging on to something. Like he's walking around our whole house just hanging on to something, you know? So.
Right. Yeah. Is he taking more steps?
Yeah, yeah, he'll, like, walk from Austin to I, but he won't, like, let go of your hand.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I mean, he'll let go, take a few steps, but then, like, in order to do it on his own, he wants to be, like, hanging onto your hand.
Yeah, yeah. He's
He
cautious.
has been, like, working more on, like, the standing up on his own, so I feel like once he gets that balance and has the walking, he might take more steps on his own.
Yeah, Eleanor's definitely working on the standing up by herself too. And she gets so excited. But it's so funny because I'll be like, "Can you stand?" She'll be like, "Yeah." And then she'll like go to do it. And I feel like she tries to do it so quick because she knows she can that she's like, ugh, ugh. And then she'll finally get there. I'm like, girl, you gotta use those muscles.
Yeah.
But yeah, she walks on everything too, so we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, it'll come. Both of them will
Yeah,
be walking before we know it, and we'll be like, "What? Why
I
can
know.
you not walk?"
I know
Uh,
we'll be like, slow down. I feel like,
yeah,
well, once they start walking, you really need to baby proof everything
mhm.
much, much more, which we've started, but we definitely have to do more.
Yeah, because then they can, like, pull on things and, like, hit their head on table. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
I started incorporating some more, like, sign language things for him to, like, use to speak to us, and he's catching on a lot faster now. Like, I introduced thank you and please and help,
Hmm.
and he
Yeah.
already can do thank you and please, so we're just working on the help one. But yeah, so that's just something I started doing.
Good, good. Yeah, help's a good one. Eleanor uses help a lot. I mean, not signing, but she says help a lot. Sometimes I feel like it's a crutch because she'll be doing something. She'll be like, help. I'm like, girl, you could do that. You could do that.
You know what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm more focused on the signing because he's not as verbal as
for sure.
Eleanor is, where she can just tell you, right?
Yeah,
Um, so I've been trying to like continue developing that.
that's good. Yeah. And those count as words, from my understanding.
Yeah, they're comprehending it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, counts as language. My mom era is overnight diapers. So this is new for us. I think it's because like I said Eleanor's not drinking milk throughout the day and she like wants it in a bottle at night. So then we give her it in a bottle and she's drinking way more than she like ever has before going to bed. And a few nights we've woken up and she's just destroyed the bed. And the diaper was like so full. And I didn't know that you could get overnight diapers in size 3. So in my head, I was like, oh man, what are we going to do? But you can, luckily. So we finally moved to overnight diapers, which has been working out for us. We haven't had any issues since, but
so that has always been a thing for us. Like we have always woken up with a super full diaper. Like, and there were multiple times where he would always be going through his clothes.
yeah,
So that is why I specifically only use like the diapers that hold a lot more. And what I found was Pampers. Huggies is okay. I mean, it still works. Huggies and Costco are pretty similar. And then the quartery ones that we have, they hold so much. It's
do they?
fantastic. But also, like, I was like, whoa, like, but that's just been all the time. So you didn't have that like since she was little, like,
No, but remember, like Axel would drink what, like 7 ounces in a sitting?
mm-hmm,
Eleanor would drink at max 3, maybe 4.
mm,
And
yeah.
so we're only now at a point where she's drinking more than 4 ounces in like one sitting, and it's at night before she goes to bed. She'll have maybe 5 ounces.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, that's
yeah, so
probably why.
she just doesn't drink a lot of liquid at one time until more recently.
Okay. Yeah, because he drinks 10 ounces in the morning of milk and then usually 5 to 7 before bed. And when I don't like, does she drink like, I'm just curious about this because like I had a little bit of hard time with the water for a while and then I started to
Mhm.
introduce juice and he did not like the juice. But he'll drink like a full one of those little cups of water like while he's eating. Does
Yeah,
she do
she'll drink
that?
a lot of water too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll usually we give her water at every meal and anytime she's snacking, and then she always has a sippy cup throughout the day. But yeah, meals is when she usually downs water the most.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Mhm.
It's just it's interesting how different children are and never to
Mhm.
compare any
Yep.
children to any children. It's just I like to hear about it because I'm like interested to like learn all the different ways that children can interact and be. So
Yeah. Plus, our next child might be different.
yeah, then you might have to go through a whole new other routine. Who knows?
Yeah, and if I didn't know like your scenario, and if my next child like drank so much milk, I'd be like, "Oh my god, like is this so normal?"
Yeah, and then if I have another one and it'd be like 3 ounces, I'd be like, "What is wrong with you?
Yes.
Drink more."
So it's helpful.
So, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on the Mom Era podcast. We hope you have a good week. Feel free to follow us on Instagram at momera_podcast. And that's a wrap, I think.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.